Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
So you might see sitting in front of me a familiar brand name, Acer, and above that the word Chrome. That means this is the new Chromebook from Acer. Acer's done really well with Chromebooks. Actually, a lot of companies have, and I think the Chromebook has taken off in education and anywhere where you want an inexpensive computer that's secure. Lately, you know, when I first saw the Chrome OS, I thought, why would you buy that when you could just buy a regular computer and then, you know, all you could do here is browse. You know, it's basically the Chrome browser as an operating system. They have a little start menu here. In fact, as Microsoft's abandoned it, Google's brought it back with all the apps on here, including, you see, the Kindle app and SoundCloud, and Evernote has a great app. And now Evernote, by the way, you can use the Android version of Evernote and a few other apps. We're going to see more and more Android apps
Chrome
on
OS, that's crazy.
I feel like Chrome OS is really maturing and is actually an operating system I would recommend to a lot of people. I ask people these days, what do you do with your computer? And if they say email and surf the net, I say you ought to look at a Chromebook. Yep. So this is the latest Acer Chromebook, and I have a couple of Chromebooks. I don't need a new Chromebook, but I was very interested in this one for a couple of reasons. First of all, 1080p screen. Not a touch screen, which is a little disappointing, but a very high-res screen, which is great if you're going to watch Netflix on this, which you can. It's a little tough to use for me with my bad eyesight, but
it looks a little flat, almost like...
You know, the viewing angle is not great, so tilt it. That's one negative.
Sitting in front of a laptop,
right?
So often,
and you can use Chrome. You can make the text bigger, so I don't think that's a real worry. But it's nice to have that kind of resolution. The other thing that was very interesting is this is the first Chromebook to use the new Nvidia Tegra K1 processor. This is a very fast quad-core processor. It's an ARM processor, and that's a little bit of a departure for Chrome OS. Chrome OS will run on Intel. In fact, mostly does, but will also run on ARM. And they've loaded this one up. It's a quad-core 2.1 gigahertz processor, 192 CUDA cores in the GPU. I mean, this is a very powerful system. They put 30. Now you can get your choice, but I got the high-end one, which is 4 gigs of RAM. 30. By the way, really important, I think, in Chrome OS to get 4 gigs of RAM. Don't cheap out and get 2.
Because you think that you're just doing web browsing and you don't need that much memory, but honestly, you need it.
You'll fill it up. It also has 32 gig storage, which is twice as much as typical, plus 802.11 AC, which I really like. If you have an AC router, you're going to get much higher Wi-Fi speeds. 2 USB 3 ports, which is really great. A full-size HDMI port. That's kind of nice because then you hook it up to your TV without a special cable. And, of course, the usual microphone and headphone slot. So 1080p screen, K1 processor makes this a very nice, very cool, very thin. It's only 3 pounds, lightweight Chromebook. It is good battery life. I was hoping for better because we're running a 1080p screen. Acer's only rating it for 11 hours. I'm getting between 8, 9, and 10 hours. You know what? That's plenty for a laptop. I'm not going to complain. This is a nice machine. It's kind of closer to the mid-range machines that we have been looking for in Chromebooks. Not the really cheap ones, but not the Pixel, the Google Pixel, which is $1,200. This is $379 as equipped on Amazon, which I think is a very nice price for a very usable computer. Now, the pros are, of course, 4 gigs of RAM, 1080p, that new K1 giving it great battery life. But the cons, it's not a touch screen. You can get touch screens now, and I think touch actually in some cases works quite well on a Chromebook. It's not like Windows 8.1. It's not a necessity, but it's nice to have.
You don't have to have it, but I find reasons to use it.
Yeah, exactly, for scrolling and things like that. Also, something to be aware of, because this is an ARM architecture, not an Intel architecture, there are a very few Chrome extensions that actually don't work. They're designed to run with Intel, and some of the low-level stuff won't work on ARM. Bastion didn't work for me. It's mostly games, things like that. I'm sure as more and more of these K1 processors come out, you'll see, for Chromebooks, you'll see that fixed. Also, this is not the 64-bit version of this processor. It's the 32-bit. There will be a new Acer 13-inch Chromebook with a 64-bit processor sometime soon. I think this is a great, inexpensive notebook with a lot of high-end features. I have to say it's definitely a buy, but it's kind of among equals. The Acer C720 is also excellent. HP, Dell, many others make excellent Chromebooks. It isn't the perfect mid-range Chromebook I've been looking for quite yet, but still, it's just beautiful. Thin, light, and for a lot of people, all the computer you need. So a buy if you're in the market for a Chromebook.